You ever have one of those weeks where you feel like you're just herding cats? You've got a team of smart, capable people, but everyone seems to be pulling in a completely different direction. You spend your days jumping from one fire to another, stuck in endless meetings that circle the drain but never actually solve anything. And by the time Friday rolls around, you're completely exhausted and you look back and think, what did we actually accomplish this week? If that sounds even remotely familiar, you are not alone. In fact, you're in the vast majority of American managers. Here's a statistic from Harvard Business School that should honestly terrify you. 95% of a company's employees are unaware of, or don't understand, its strategy. Let that sink in. 95%. That's like coaching a Super Bowl team where only you and the quarterback know the playbook. The other 51 guys on the roster? They're just running around hoping for the best. This isn't just a communication problem. This is the root cause of almost every frustration you feel as a leader. It's the reason for turf wars between departments, for projects that are perpetually behind schedule, for the constant feeling that you have to be involved in every single decision, or things will just fall apart. But what if you could change that? What if you could install a new way of working into your organization? Not a piece of software, not a complicated methodology, but a simple, practical framework that gets every single person, from the new hire in customer service to the VP of sales, 100% on the same page, focused on the same goals and executing with discipline. That framework is called an enterprise operating system. And for the next few minutes, I'm going to demystify this powerful concept and show you why it's become the secret weapon for thousands of businesses, from 10-person startups to Fortune 500 giants, that are tired of the chaos and committed to building something truly great. So what does that chaos actually look like? Most leaders I talk to, whether they're running a small construction company in Texas or a fast-growing tech firm in California, experience a combination of the same 5 frustrations. See if any of these hit home for you. First, there's the lack of control frustration. You feel like the business is running you, not the other way around. You don't have a firm grip on the numbers, the people, or the future. You're reactive, not proactive, and your day is dictated by other people's emergencies. You own the business, but you feel like you're its lowest paid, most stressed out employee. The second frustration is people. You love your team, but deep down you don't have all the right people in the right seats. You have people who create drama, people who don't pull their weight, or maybe just good people who are struggling because they're in the wrong role. You find yourself dealing with the same employee issues over and over and over again, and it drains your energy. Third is profit, or more specifically, the lack of it. The business is making money, sure, but not enough. There's no consistency. You have a great quarter followed by a terrible one, and you can't figure out why. You're working harder than ever, but the bottom line just isn't reflecting that effort. Fourth, you're hitting the ceiling. Your growth has stalled. It feels like no matter what you do, whether you hire more salespeople, launch a new marketing campaign, or work longer hours, you just can't seem to break through to that next level. The complexity is overwhelming, and what got you here simply isn't going to get you there. And finally, the fifth frustration is that nothing's working. You've tried it all. You've read the business books, you've gone to the seminars, you've hired the consultants. You've implemented a dozen different initiatives of the month, but nothing ever sticks. The team gets excited for a week or two, but then everyone slides back into the old chaotic way of doing things. The new ideas become binders that just collect dust on a shelf. When you're living with these frustrations day in and day out, it's not just a business problem. It's a life problem. It steals your passion, it strains your relationships, and it makes you question why you even got into this in the first place. This is where the idea of an operating system becomes so powerful. I want you to think about your business like it's a computer. Any computer has 2 basic components. It has hardware, the processor, the memory, the screen. And it has software, the applications you use to do your work, like Microsoft Word or Adobe Photoshop. In your business, the hardware is your people, your equipment, your physical space. The software is your product, your service, your marketing, your sales process. Now, you could have the most powerful hardware on the planet and the most brilliant software ever written. But if you don't have an operating system, a Windows, a Mac OS, a Linux, what do you have? You have a dead box. Pile of useless components. It's the operating system that allows the hardware and the software to talk to each other. It's the invisible layer that organizes everything, manages resources, and allows the computer to function as a cohesive, powerful whole. An enterprise operating system, or EOS, does the exact same thing for your business. It's the human operating system. It's the master framework that connects your strategy to your people, and your people to your daily execution. It's the system that ensures all the different parts of your company, Sales, marketing, operations, finance are working together seamlessly instead of against each other. It's not a new product. It's not a new strategy. It's the system you use to run the entire business on your strategy. It's what turns a collection of talented individuals into a truly synchronized team. Now, it's really important to be clear about what an enterprise operating system is not. First, and this is the biggest misconception, it is not a piece of software. You can't download it. You can't buy a subscription to it. While there are software tools that can help you run an EOS, the system itself is a set of concepts, disciplines, and simple practical tools that are implemented by people. It's about changing human behavior and habits, not installing an app. Second, it is not some complex academic theory cooked up in an ivory tower. This isn't about writing a 200-page strategic plan that nobody ever reads. The beauty of a true operating system is its simplicity. The tools are often just simple one-page documents with clear questions. The language is plain English. The concepts are timeless business principles that have been proven to work in the real world, not just in a textbook. It's designed for busy, entrepreneurial leaders who don't have time for fluff. Third, it is not a magic wand or a silver bullet. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme for your business. Implementing an operating system takes work, takes discipline. It requires you and your leadership team to be open, honest, and vulnerable, and to hold each other accountable. It's a journey, not a single event, but the payoff for that disciplined effort is incredible. A business that is more focused, more accountable, more profitable, and frankly, a lot more fun to run. So what is it then? At its core, an enterprise operating system is a complete holistic system with 6 key components that, when strengthened together, create a healthy, thriving organization. These components are vision, people, data, issues, process, and traction. Getting your vision 100% clear and shared by everyone. Getting the right people in the right seats. Running the business on objective data, not feelings and egos. Becoming masters at solving issues for good. Documenting your core processes to create consistency and scalability. And finally, instilling a culture of discipline and accountability to gain real traction. Over the course of this series, we're going to unpack each of these 6 components. We're going to give you the tools and the roadmap to start strengthening them in your own team, in your own department, or across your entire company. My promise to you is this. If you stick with me, you will walk away with a fundamentally new and simplified way of looking at your business. You will have a blueprint for breaking through that ceiling, for solving those nagging frustrations once and for all, and for building a self-managing organization that gives you more freedom, not less. We're going to start by tackling the foundation of it all, vision. Now, when I say the word vision, I bet I know what you're thinking. You're picturing a dusty binder on a shelf. Inside is a laminated page with some beautifully crafted, completely useless corporate mission statement. Something like, our mission is to be the premier global provider of synergistic solutions, leveraging our world-class assets to maximize shareholder value while fostering a culture of excellence and innovation. Right? Sounds important, but what does it actually mean? Can your sales guy on a tough call use that to make a decision? Can your new hire in customer service tell you what it means for them on day 2? Of course not. It's corporate poetry. It's fluff. And that's why it has zero impact on your day-to-day business. The vision component of a true operating system isn't a paragraph. It's a set of answers. It's a simple, practical tool that gets everyone in your organization 100% on the same page about where you're going and how you're going to get there. This tool answers 8 simple but powerful questions, not on a 100-page business plan but on a 2-page document. Let's walk through them because getting these right is the bedrock of everything else. The first question is, what are your core values? And again, we're not talking about those generic words you see on a motivational poster. Integrity, teamwork, excellence. Those are permission to play values. Every decent company should have them. Your core values are the handful of guiding principles, 3 to 7 of them, that define your unique culture. They describe the kind of person who thrives in your organization. The simplest way to find them is to think about your top 3 employees, the people you wish you could clone. What are the essential human characteristics that make them so great? Not their skills, but their character. Are they hungry, humble, tenacious? Do they see it, own it, solve it? These aren't values you invent. They are values you discover. They already exist within the best people in your company. Once you define them, they become a filter for everything. You hire, fire, review, reward, and recognize people based on these values. It's how you get the right people in your organization, which is a topic we'll dive into later. But it all starts here. The second question is, what is your core focus? This is about cutting through the noise and getting brutally honest about who you are. It has two parts. The first is your purpose, cause, or passion. This is your why. Why does your company exist beyond making money? What's the dent you want to put in the universe? It's not about what you do, it's about why you do it. For a local accounting firm, it might not be to do taxes. It might be to bring financial peace of mind to small business owners. See the difference? One is a task, the other is a mission. The second part of core focus is your niche. What is the one thing you do better than anyone else? This is where so many companies get lost. They suffer from shiny object syndrome, chasing every opportunity. But great companies know what they are, and just as importantly, what they are not. Are you the high-end white glove service provider? Or are you the fast, affordable, no-frills option? You can't be both. Defining your niche gives you the discipline to say no, so you can pour all your energy into being world-class at the one thing that matters. Third question. What's your 10-year target? This isn't a forecast. It's a dream. A big, hairy, audacious goal. It should be far enough away that it's beyond your current capabilities, forcing you to think bigger. It should be specific enough to be exciting. To be the best isn't a target. To be the #1 supplier of custom widgets in the Midwest with $100 million in revenue and a 15% net profit. Now that is a target. It's a North Star. It gives everyone a destination to aim for. A single point on the horizon that aligns every decision. You might not have a perfect step-by-step plan to get there right now, and that's okay. The point is to set the direction. Fourth, what is your marketing strategy? Don't panic. This isn't about creating a massive, complex marketing plan. It's about simplifying it down to its absolute essence so that every single person, especially your sales and marketing team, can articulate it clearly. It answers 4 questions. 1. Who is your target market? Your ideal customer. Get specific. Demographics, geographics, psychographics. 2. What are your 3 uniques? What 3 things truly set you apart from the competition? These can't be great service or quality products. Everyone says that. They have to be specific, provable claims that make you the obvious choice for your target market. 3. What is your proven process? This is the unique step-by-step way you deliver your product or service to your customers. Naming it and illustrating it builds confidence and shows you have your act together. And 4. What is your guarantee? This is your promise. It's a way to remove the risk for your customers and make the decision to work with you a no-brainer. Okay, so we have this big 10-year target. That's great, but it's far away. So the 5th question brings it closer. What is your 3-year picture? What does your company need to look, sound, and feel like just 3 years from now to be on track for that 10-year goal? This isn't just a fantasy. It's a clear, focused snapshot. You'll define future revenue, future profit, and a handful of key measurables. And then you'll paint a picture with bullet points. What will your clients be saying about you? What will your office look like? How many employees will you have? Making it vivid and tangible gets people emotionally invested. They can start to see it, feel it, and believe it's possible. Now we get even more focused. The 6th question. What is your 1-year plan? Based on your 3-year picture, what are the 3 to 7 most important things you must achieve in the next 12 months? These are your annual goals. Not a laundry list of 20 things. Just the vital few that will make the biggest impact. These goals must be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. For example, increase customer retention from 80% to 85% by December 31st. Or successfully launch the new X line of products by Q3. Everyone in the company should know these 1-year goals by heart. From the year, we break it down to the quarter. This is the 7th question, and it's where the magic really happens. What are your quarterly rocks? A rock is just a 90-day business priority. It's one of the 3 to 7 most important things that must get done this quarter to achieve your 1-year plan. Think of a jar. The big rocks are your quarterly priorities. If you put them in first, all the little things, the sand and gravel of daily tasks and emails, will fill in around them. But if you fill the jar with sand first, you'll never fit the big rocks in. The 90-day world is the sweet spot between long-term strategy and day-to-day execution. It creates a powerful rhythm in the business. A 90-day sprint where the entire company is focused on a handful of critical priorities. Finally, the 8th question. What is your issues list? This is simply a running list of all the problems, obstacles, challenges, and even opportunities in the company. Getting them out of your leaders' heads and onto a single shared list is a game changer. It stops them from festering. It allows you to see everything in one place, prioritize, and systematically knock them down one by one. It's about acknowledging reality without being defeated by it. This list becomes the fuel for your weekly leadership meetings, ensuring you're always working on the business, not just in it. So there you have it. 8 questions. Core values, core focus, 10-year target, marketing strategy, 3-year picture, 1-year plan, quarterly rocks, and an issues list. When you answer these questions honestly and get them down on a simple 2-page document, something incredible happens. You achieve clarity. You achieve alignment. The vision is no longer a fluffy statement in a binder. It's a practical tool. It cascades from a 10-year dream all the way down to what needs to be done this quarter. And when this vision is shared by everyone in the organization, you stop having to manage people, and you start leading them. People can make decisions on their own because they know the playbook. They row in the same direction without you having to scream stroke, stroke, stroke every 5 seconds. But having this perfect vision on paper is only the first step. It's useless if you don't have the right people to execute it. How do you make sure you have the right people in the right seats? People who share your core values and who are uniquely wired to excel in their roles. That's the people component, and it's arguably the most critical piece of the entire puzzle. Because when it comes to building a truly great organization, strategy and vision are worthless without the right people to execute them. Jim Collins, in his masterpiece Good to Great, famously said you have to get the right people on the bus, the wrong people off the bus, and the right people in the right seats. It's a brilliant metaphor, but for most managers it raises a huge question. How? How do you do that systematically? Can't just be a gut feeling. This is where a true operating system shines. It gives you a simple, practical, and consistent framework for making all your people decisions. The people component is broken down into 2 very distinct, very important ideas. Right people and right seats. They sound similar, but they are fundamentally different, and you absolutely must have both. Let's tackle the first one, right people. What defines the right people for your organization? It's not their resume. It's not their skills. It's not the college they went to. The right people are the ones who share your company's core values. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Core values? Oh great, here we go. The fluffy posters on the wall with words like integrity and excellence. And you're right to be skeptical because that's how most companies treat them. But in a high-performing organization, core values are not platitudes. They are the bedrock of your culture. They are a short list of 3 to 7 timeless guiding principles that define who you are at your core. They are the rules of the game for how you behave, how you treat each other, and how you treat your customers. Think of it this way. If your company were a country, your core values would be its constitution. They are non-negotiable. For example, a company might have a core value like humbly confident. This means they want people who are experts at what they do but who don't have an ego. They're open to new ideas, they admit when they're wrong, and they give credit to the team. Another company might have grows or dies as a value, meaning they expect every single person to be obsessed with learning and personal development. Your job as a leader is first to discover and clarify what your actual core values are. Not what you wish they were, but what they truly are. The best way to do this is to think of your top 3 employees, the people you wish you could clone. What are the essential human characteristics that make them so great to work with? Write those down. That's the start of your core values list. Once you have them defined, you have to bring them to life. And you do that with a simple tool called the People Analyzer. It's a spreadsheet, a document, whatever works for you. On the left side, you list every person on your team. Across the top, you list your 3 to 7 core values. Then, you and your leadership team sit down and rate every single person against every single value. You use a simple rating system. A plus if they exemplify the value most of the time, a plus-minus if they sometimes do, and a minus if they rarely do. This process is magical. It takes something that feels subjective, culture, and makes it objective. Suddenly, you can see on paper who truly fits your organization and who doesn't. You'll see patterns. You'll realize that the employee who drives everyone crazy consistently gets a minus on team player and no ego. You'll also see that your star performer gets a plus across the board. The standard you set is called the bar. You decide what the minimum acceptable rating is. Most high-performing companies say that to be a right person, you can't have any minuses and maybe only 1 plus-minus. If someone is consistently below that bar, you have a hard decision to make. They are a wrong person for your culture. Even if they're a top salesperson or a brilliant engineer, if they don't share your values, they are a cancer in your organization. They create drama, they drain your energy, and they drive away your actual right people. You must act. So that's right people. It's all about alignment with your core values. But it's only half the equation. You can have a bus full of wonderful people who all share the same values, but if the world's best accountant is trying to lead your sales team, you're still going to crash. This brings us to the second idea, right seats. Right seats is about roles and accountability. It's about making sure that every person on your team is operating in a position that leverages their unique, God-given talents. To do this, you need a new kind of organizational chart. Forget the traditional one that's just a hierarchy of titles. You need what's called an accountability chart. The accountability chart does two things differently. First, it's built around the major functions of the business, not the people you currently have. You start with a blank sheet of paper and you ask, for our business to win, what are the essential functions that must be performed flawlessly? You'll have things like sales, marketing, operations, finance, and a leadership role, the integrator who harmonizes them all. You structure the company for the future, for where you want to be in 12 months. You create the perfect structure first, the perfect seats on the bus. Second, for each of those seats, you define the 5 or 6 major roles and responsibilities that person is absolutely accountable for. Not a 10-page job description, just the 5 or 6 things that, if they get them done, they are succeeding in that seat. For the sales seat, it might be closing new business or managing the CRM. For the finance seat, it might be accurate financials or managing cash flow. Crystal clear accountability. Only after you have defined the right structure and the roles for each seat do you start putting names in the boxes. And this is where the discipline comes in. For a person to be in the right seat, they must pass a simple 3-part test. We call it GWC, get it, want it, and have the capacity to do it. Let's break that down. First, do they get it? This isn't about intelligence. It's about a deep, innate, almost gut-level understanding of the role. Have you ever worked with someone where you have to explain things over and over and they just don't see it? They don't get the nuances, the pace, the culture of that specific function. They don't get it. The person who gets it just does. Clicks for them. Second, do they want it? Do they genuinely, passionately want to do this specific job? Do they jump out of bed in the morning excited to tackle these exact responsibilities? This isn't about wanting a promotion or a bigger paycheck. It's about a deep-seated desire for the role itself. A great engineer might be offered the head of engineering role, but if they hate managing people and just want to code, they don't truly want it. Putting them in that seat would make them miserable and ineffective. And third, do they have the capacity to do it? This is about having the mental, physical, emotional, and time-based ability to do the job well. It includes skills, experience, and raw talent. You might have someone who gets it and wants it, but if they simply don't have the intellectual horsepower or the technical skills required to perform at a high level, they don't have the capacity. To be in the right seat, a person must be a yes on all 3. Not 2 out of 3. Not a kinda. A clear, unequivocal yes to get it, want it, and capacity. When you combine these 2 concepts, you get the magic formula. The right person in the right seat. This is your goal for every single person in your company. Someone who shares your core values, right person, and who GWCs their role on your accountability chart, right seat. When you achieve this, everything changes. Infighting disappears. Blame games stop. Productivity skyrockets. You, as a manager, stop spending 80% of your time dealing with people issues and can finally focus on strategy and growth. You'll have a team of people who are not only good at their jobs, but who love doing them and who love working with each other. This process forces you to confront the brutal facts. You'll use your people analyzer and your accountability chart, and you'll realize you have a right person in the wrong seat. Someone who is a perfect culture fit but is struggling in their role. Your job is to find a better seat for them, and you'll identify the wrong person in the right seat, the high-performing talented jerk, who hits their numbers but poisons the well. As hard as it is, you now have the clarity and the tools to know you have to let that person go, for the good of the entire organization. Getting the people component right is the hardest work you'll do as a leader, but it's also the most important. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. Now, once you have this incredible team of the right people in the right seats, all aligned and pulling in the same direction, how do you manage them? How do you know if you're actually winning? How do you cut through the opinions, the egos, and the I think or I feel conversations that plague most meetings? You do it with data. Cold, hard, objective numbers. And that is the next key component of a true enterprise operating system. It's the lifeblood of the entire system. Because in the chaos of running a business, data is the great equalizer. It's the source of truth. Think about your last few management meetings. How much of the time was spent on subjective debates? On gut feelings? On someone saying, well, I really feel like we should be focusing on this, while someone else says, I don't know, my gut tells me we need to go in that direction. This is the reality in most American companies. We're a nation of pioneers and trailblazers, and we rightly value intuition and experience. That gut instinct that a seasoned manager has? It's a superpower. It's built on years of seeing patterns, of successes and failures. But here's the hard truth. Gut feel doesn't scale. Your gut can't run a 100-person company. Your intuition can't be delegated to your new junior manager. Gut feel is inconsistent. It has good days and bad days. It's susceptible to bias, to mood, to whether you had a good breakfast that morning. Trying to run a company on the collective gut feel of your leadership team is like trying to navigate a 747 through a thunderstorm by just looking out the window. Maybe you'll get lucky, but you're one patch of bad fog, one unexpected crosswind away from total disaster. An enterprise operating system replaces that guesswork with an instrument panel. It gives every leader on the team a clear, simple, objective view of reality. And the core of that instrument panel is a tool we call the scorecard. Now, when you hear the word scorecard, don't think of some 100-tab Excel nightmare that takes an analyst a week to prepare. That's the opposite of what this is. Though a scorecard is brutally simple, it's a single sheet of paper or a single dashboard with 5 to 15 numbers on it. That's it. These are the handful of numbers that give you an absolute week-by-week pulse on the health of your business. Not monthly, not quarterly, weekly, because the business world moves too fast for a quarterly report. A quarter is an eternity. By the time you get the numbers, the game is already over. The scorecard is your weekly checkup. Tells you exactly where you are right now. But here's the critical distinction, the concept that separates world-class operators from everyone else. The scorecard is not focused on history. It's focused on predicting the future. It does this by tracking leading indicators, not lagging indicators. Let me explain, because this one idea can change your entire company. A lagging indicator tells you what already happened. The classic example is revenue. Your Q3 revenue report is a lagging indicator. It's an autopsy. It tells you how you performed in the past. It's important for sure, but you can't change it. It's history. It's like driving your car by looking only in the rearview mirror. A leading indicator, on the other hand, predicts a future result. It's a number you can influence today that will affect your lagging indicators tomorrow. It's like looking through the windshield. For a sales team, a lagging indicator is revenue closed. A leading indicator is number of qualified demos booked this week. You see the difference? If the number of demos booked this week is high, you can predict with a high degree of confidence that revenue in 30 or 60 days is going to be high. If the number of demos tanks this week, you have an early warning. You have a problem you can solve now, before it ever shows up in your revenue report. Think of it like your health. Your weight on the scale this morning is a lagging indicator of your diet last month. The number of calories you consume today is a leading indicator of your weight next month. An EOS forces you to stop managing from the rearview mirror and start steering the company by looking ahead. Let's make this real. Imagine a custom furniture company. The leadership team gets together for their weekly meeting. In the old way, the head of sales says, I'm hearing from customers that orders are late. The head of operations fires back, well, my team is working flat out. We're buried in work. The head of customer service adds, well, our call volume for complaints is way up. What happens next? A circular argument. Finger pointing. Egos get bruised. Everyone leaves frustrated and the problem isn't solved. Now let's run that same meeting with an EOS scorecard. The team looks at the screen. There are 12 numbers. Most are green, meaning they're on track. But 2 are red, meaning they missed their weekly goal. The first red number is on-time deliveries, which is at 82% against a goal of 95%. The second red number is pieces reworked due to errors, which is at 15 pieces against a goal of less than 5. Instantly, the entire conversation changes. There's no opinion. There's no I feel. There's just the data. The problem isn't a he said, she said between sales and operations. The problem is clear. Quality control is slipping, causing reworks, which is causing shipping delays. The data points directly to the root cause. The emotion is gone. The finger pointing is gone. All that's left is a singular focus. What is the root cause of the increase in errors and what are we going to do about it right now? This leads to the next piece of magic in the system: accountability. In an EOS, every single number on that scorecard is owned by one person. Not a department, not a committee, one person. The person who has the most control over that number is the one who owns it. So Jane, the head of operations, owns on-time deliveries and pieces reworked. Bob, the head of sales, owns new proposals sent. Sarah in marketing owns website leads. When a number is on track, great. When it's off track, the owner doesn't get blamed. They are simply responsible for explaining why it's off track and what the plan is to get it back on track. This creates a culture of extreme ownership. There's no hiding. You can't say the team is working on it. You own the number. The buck stops with you. It's not about creating pressure. It's about creating clarity. When everyone is responsible, nobody is responsible. When one person is responsible, things get done. So how do you build this? You don't need a data scientist. You ask each leader of your major departments a simple question. If you were stranded on a desert island and you could only get a handful of numbers texted to you each week to know if your department was winning or losing, what would those numbers be? Not 20 numbers. A handful. 5 to 15 for the whole company. For finance, it might be cash on hand and accounts receivable aging. For operations, on-time delivery and product defects. For sales, proposals sent and deals closed. You want activity-based numbers that predict results. You want numbers that you can track weekly. This shift from managing by opinion to managing by data is one of the most profound transformations a company can make. It takes the emotion, the ego, and the politics out of decision-making. The numbers don't have an agenda. The data doesn't care about your title. It simply reflects reality. This creates an environment where the best ideas win, not the loudest voice. It allows your high performers to thrive because their results are visible for everyone to see. And it holds everyone else accountable to the same objective standard. It turns your weekly leadership meeting from a subjective, frustrating debate club into a high-stakes, objective, problem-solving session. You're no longer just talking about the business. You're actively steering it, making tiny course corrections every single week based on real-time feedback. You have your vision, you have the right people in the right seats, and now you have the data. You have the instrument panel and it's flashing red. You can see with crystal clarity exactly where the problems are in your business. But seeing the problem is only half the battle. What do you do now? How do you attack that problem in a structured way? How do you solve it once and for all so it stops popping up week after week, month after month, draining your energy and killing your profits? That requires a dedicated process for solving problems at their root. And that is the next and arguably most important component of a true enterprise operating system. This component is the engine of your operating system. It's what takes all the friction, the frustration, and the chaos of your business and methodically transforms it into fuel for growth. Most businesses don't have an engine for this. They have a fire extinguisher. Or, more accurately, they have a dozen people running around with buckets of water, throwing them on whichever fire is burning brightest at that moment. The problem is, they never ask why these fires keep starting in the first place. This is the endless, soul-crushing cycle of whack-a-mole management. A customer complains, you solve that one customer's issue. An invoice is wrong, you fix that one invoice. A shipment is late, you expedite that one shipment. You feel busy, you feel productive, but you're not making progress. You're just treading water in a sea of recurring problems. The same issues you solved last quarter are back again this quarter, maybe wearing a slightly different disguise. Why? Because you're treating symptoms, not the disease. You're putting a band-aid on a broken bone. A true enterprise operating system installs a dedicated, disciplined process for two things. First, getting every single problem, issue, and obstacle out of your team's heads and into the open. And second, solving them once and for all at the root so they never come back. Think about it. In your company right now, where do problems live? They live in people's heads. They fester in hallway conversations, in hushed complaints by the coffee machine, in the back of your mind at 3 in the morning. They're unspoken anxieties that create drag on the entire organization. There's no single safe place to put them on the table without fear of blame. The first step of a world-class problem-solving process is to create that place. It's a simple list, often called an issues list, or a problems and opportunities list. It is a living, breathing document, accessible to your entire leadership team. The rule is simple. If something is frustrating you, if it's an obstacle, if it's an idea you can't get out of your head, it goes on the list. It doesn't matter how big or small. From the Wi-Fi in the conference room is unreliable, to our gross margin has dropped by 5%. It all goes on the list. This act alone is transformative. It tells your team that problems are not things to be hidden, but opportunities to be addressed. It takes the emotional weight off individuals and puts the issue onto a shared, objective playing field. Once the issues are on the list, you need a ruthlessly effective way to knock them down. This isn't about aimless brainstorming or circular debates. The process is simple, and it's often called IDS. Identify, discuss, and solve. It happens every single week in that level 10 meeting we talked about. Your leadership team looks at the issues list and together, they pick the top 1 to 3 most important issues to solve for the business right now. Not the easiest ones, not the loudest ones, the most important ones. Then you begin. First is identify. This is the most critical and most frequently skipped step. We humans have a terrible habit of trying to solve the first thing we see. But the thing we see is almost never the real problem. It's a symptom. To get to the root, you have to dig. The simplest and most powerful tool for this is asking why. 5 times. Let's walk through a real-world example. The issue on your list is customer satisfaction scores are dropping. That's the symptom. A team without a process would start throwing out solutions. Let's retrain the customer service team. Let's offer discounts. They're just guessing. A team with an operating system digs. They ask, why are the scores dropping? The head of operations says, because our shipping times have increased from 2 days to 4 days. Okay, that's interesting. We're getting closer. Second, why? Why have our shipping times increased? The warehouse manager chimes in. Because the packing department is constantly behind schedule, creating a bottleneck. Now the blame game could start. People might look at the packing manager, but the process forces you to keep digging. Third, why? Why is the packing department behind schedule? The packing manager says, because we're frequently waiting for finished products from the assembly line. We have the boxes and the staff, but nothing to pack. The spotlight now shifts. It's not a people problem in packing. It's a process problem upstream. Fourth, why? Why is the assembly line delayed? The head of production speaks up. Because our main widget stamping machine, Machine B, went down for 2 full days last week. Now we're getting somewhere. We're moving from opinions to facts. Fifth and final, why? Why did Machine B break down? The production head looks at his notes. Because the primary hydraulic bearing failed. It was scheduled for preventative replacement last quarter, but we deferred the maintenance to try and save on the budget. Boom, there it is. The root cause. The real problem isn't unhappy customers. It's not slow shipping. It's not an underperforming packing department. The root cause is a systemic decision to sacrifice long-term reliability for short-term cost savings. Now, compare the solution to that root cause versus the initial symptom. The solution isn't retrain customer service. The solution is to create an ironclad preventative maintenance schedule that can never be sacrificed for short-term budget goals. One solution is a Band-Aid. The other is a permanent fix that prevents a dozen other future problems from ever happening. That is the power of identify. Once you've identified the root cause, the discuss phase is surprisingly fast. It's not about debating endlessly. Everyone has already heard the chain of whys. The real issue is clear. The conversation becomes laser-focused on the best path forward. What is the simplest, most effective way to ensure preventative maintenance is never skipped again? This leads directly to the final step. Solve. A problem isn't solved until it's been turned into a concrete action item on your to-do list, assigned to one single person, to be completed by a specific date. It's not someone should look into a new maintenance policy. It is John will draft a new preventative maintenance policy, including a non-negotiable budget, and present it to the team for approval at next Tuesday's meeting. It's specific, it's measurable, and it has a single owner. It's now real. The team takes that one issue, runs it through identify, discuss, and solve, and then moves to the next most important issue on the list. And the next. They do this every single week. Imagine the cumulative effect. Week after week, your leadership team isn't just managing fires. They are methodically, relentlessly fireproofing your entire business. They are permanently solving the issues that used to drain hundreds of hours of emotional energy and kill productivity. This creates a profound cultural shift. You move from a culture of blame, where people hide problems, to a culture of open and honest problem solving. where surfacing an issue is seen as an act of leadership. Your best people, the ones who are most frustrated by recurring problems, finally feel heard. They see that the company is serious about getting better. They see progress, and they stay. Without this component, your operating system is just a fancy set of rules. This is the part that makes it breathe. It's the mechanism for adaptation and evolution. But solving problems, even at the root, is only half the battle. How do you know you're solving the right problems? How do you spot issues before they even show up on your customer satisfaction reports? Solving problems without clear data is like a pilot flying a 747 with a blindfold on. You can feel the controls, you can hear the engines, but you have no idea if you're gaining altitude or heading straight for a mountainside. So, how do we build the cockpit? How do we create a simple, elegant dashboard that gives you an objective, at-a-glance view of the health of every single part of your business? That is the next critical component we need to build. It's called the scorecard. And I need you to forget everything you think you know about business reporting. Forget the 40-page monthly financial packets that land on your desk with a thud. Forget the dense spreadsheets with 100 tabs that take a forensic accountant to decipher. Those are autopsies. They tell you with excruciating detail how the patient died last month. The scorecard is not an autopsy. It's a vital signs monitor. It's the EKG giving you a live, rhythmic pulse of your organization right now this week. Think about the manager's nightmare. It's not a lack of data. In today's world, we are drowning in data. We have dashboards for our dashboards. We get daily reports, weekly summaries, CRM exports, analytics emails. It's a fire hose of information. But information is not insight. Most managers I know are swimming in numbers, but they're starving for clarity. They spend their days reacting, putting out fires, and making decisions based on gut feelings, anecdotes, and whoever yelled the loudest in the last meeting. They feel like sales are down, or they have a hunch that customer service is struggling. This is managing by anxiety. It's exhausting, and it's a terrible way to run a business. The scorecard is the antidote to this chaos. It is a simple single-page document with just 5 to 15 numbers on it. That's it. One page, one glance. And in 60 seconds, you should be able to know with objective certainty whether your business had a good week or a bad week. No stories, no excuses, no well you see what happened was. Just the numbers. Now you might be thinking, 15 numbers? How can I possibly run my multi-million-dollar company on 15 numbers? That's the entire point. The magic is in the constraint. Forcing yourself to choose only the most essential metrics forces you to identify what truly drives your business forward. It cuts through the noise and delivers pure, unadulterated signal. It's the difference between trying to fly a 747 by looking out a tiny porthole window versus sitting in the cockpit with a clean, clear dashboard showing you your altitude, your airspeed, your heading, and your fuel. Everything you need and nothing you don't. So, what makes a good scorecard number? This is where most companies get it wrong. They just take their existing financial reports and try to cram them onto one page. They track things like monthly revenue, gross profit, or net income. But remember, those are autopsies. They are lagging indicators. They tell you the result of past activities. A great scorecard is built almost entirely on leading indicators. Leading indicators are activity-based numbers that predict a future result. They measure the inputs, not just the outputs. Let me give you a crystal clear example. Let's say you run a sales team. A lagging indicator would be revenue closed last month. It's important, but it's history. You can't change it. A leading indicator would be number of first-time sales appointments conducted this week. See the difference? If your team is consistently holding 25 first-time appointments every week, you can predict with a high degree of certainty what your revenue will look like in 30, 60, or 90 days. The appointments are the cause. The revenue is the effect. When you manage the cause, the effect takes care of itself. If you're only looking at revenue and 1 month it drops, what do? You panic. You don't know why it dropped. But if you're tracking appointments on your scorecard every single week, you'll see the problem coming from a mile away. You'll see appointment numbers dip from 25 to 20, then to 15. You'll have a 4-week head start to diagnose the problem. Is our marketing funnel broken? Is a key salesperson struggling? And fix it before it ever impacts your bank account. That's the power of leading indicators. You stop driving by looking in the rearview mirror and start looking through the windshield. Let's apply this to other parts of the business. For customer service, a lagging indicator is customer churn rate. A leading indicator is customer support tickets closed within 24 hours. For operations, a lagging indicator is on-time delivery percentage last quarter. A leading indicator is number of production errors this week. For marketing, a lagging indicator is website traffic last month. A leading indicator is number of qualified leads generated this week. You're tracking the weekly activities that, when done consistently, guarantee future success. The second critical rule for a scorecard number is that it must have a single owner. Every single one of those 5 to 15 numbers has one person's name next to it. Not a department. Person. Bob owns weekly sales calls. Susan owns customer happiness score. Mike owns projects completed on time and on budget. This creates a culture of radical accountability. There's no finger pointing. There's no, I thought they were handling that. If a number is off track, we know exactly who is accountable for understanding why and getting it back on track. It's their number. They live it, they breathe it, they own it. And the third piece is the goal. Every number has a weekly goal. A target that the owner has agreed is the benchmark for a successful week. This isn't a stretch goal from some corporate fantasy land. It's a realistic, achievable number that represents a win for the week. Sales calls, goal is 25. Customer tickets closed, goal is 98%. Production errors, goal is less than 3. This transforms the scorecard from a report into a game. Can we hit our numbers this week? It creates focus, a sense of urgency, and a clear definition of what good looks like. So how do you build this? You get your leadership team together in a room for a few hours. You ask the simple question: if we were stranded on a desert island and could only have a handful of numbers radioed to us each week to know if our business was healthy or not, what would those numbers be? You brainstorm. You'll probably come up with 50 or 60 different metrics. Then the hard part begins. You have to debate, challenge, and cull that list down to the vital few. The 5 to 15 numbers that give you that 80-20 view of the business. You assign an owner for each one and set a weekly goal. And here's how it gets integrated into the very fabric of your company. The scorecard is reviewed for the first 5 minutes of your weekly leadership team meeting. Every single week. No exceptions. You go through it number by number. The owner simply states the number for the past week. Sales calls, goal 25, we hit 28. The leader says, great. And you move on. Customer happiness, goal 95, we hit 91. The leader says, okay. And you move on. Wait, that's it? Just okay. Yes. And this is a profoundly important discipline. You do not stop to discuss or solve the problem during the scorecard review. The purpose of this 5-minute exercise is simply to identify what's on track and what's off track. It's triage. We are just identifying the issues, not solving them. By refusing to get sucked into the weeds on the very first agenda item, you ensure you get a clean, objective read on the entire business before diving into any single problem. The issues themselves, the numbers that are off track, get dropped down to a separate part of the meeting, which we'll talk about later, where they can be properly solved. This simple rhythm will revolutionize your company. The subjective, story-filled, emotionally draining weekly meeting is replaced by a data-driven, objective review. The conversations change. Instead of "how's it going in marketing?" you ask, "Why were we 10 leads short of our goal last week?" It forces a level of clarity and accountability that most organizations can only dream of. It's an early warning system that tells you with mathematical certainty where the problems are, often weeks or months before they show up on your profit and loss statement. We've now built the cockpit. We have our dashboard, our scorecard, with a clear set of instruments telling us if we're on course. We can see the flashing red lights. We know when our altitude is dropping or when we're burning fuel too fast. We have an objective, at-a-glance view of reality. But seeing a warning light is one thing. Knowing exactly what to do to fix the engine mid-flight is something else entirely. Our scorecard tells us the what, but it doesn't tell us the why or the how. So when that number turns red on the page week after week, how do you create a system to make it turn green again? How do you solve problems at their root so they go away forever and don't keep popping up like a game of whack-a-mole? That is the engine of the operating system, and it's the next piece we have to build. This engine is built on a single profound realization. Most businesses don't have a problem-solving problem. They have a problem identification and prioritization problem. They have a system or lack thereof that guarantees the wrong problems get worked on in the wrong way by the wrong people. Think about how problems are solved in your organization right now. Be honest. Does it look anything like this? A manager, let's call him Dave, is walking down the hall, trying to get to the coffee machine. Suddenly a team member, Susan, jumps out. The hallway ambush. Susan says, "Dave, got a quick second? We have a huge problem with the new software rollout." Dave, who was thinking about his coffee, is now cornered. He listens for a few minutes, says, "Okay, yeah, look into that," and continues on his way. What just happened? Was that a quick second? Is "look into that" a solution? Was Susan's problem truly the most important fire to fight in the entire company at 9:15 on a Tuesday morning? Or was it just the one that happened to be in Dave's physical path? Or maybe you have the squeaky wheel system. In your weekly meeting, whoever complains the loudest with the most emotion gets their issue addressed. It's not about data or impact. It's about who can create the most drama. So, everyone learns that to get resources, you have to perform a song and dance about how your department is on fire. The result? A culture of perpetual crisis and political theater, where the real silent killers of your business, the slow decline in profit margins, the subtle shift in customer satisfaction, get completely ignored. And the worst of all, the meeting that goes nowhere. You all sit in a conference room for an hour. Problem is brought up. 10 people offer 10 different opinions. The discussion spirals, goes off on tangents and circles back. You talk about symptoms, you talk about who's to blame, you talk about what you could do. Then the clock hits the hour. Someone says, "Well, great discussion. Let's pick this up next week." And everyone walks out, having accomplished absolutely nothing. The problem is still there, festering, waiting to be debated into oblivion again in 7 days. This is firefighting. It's reactive, exhausting, and it ensures you spend your entire life working in the business, never on the business. You're not a manager. You're the world's most overpaid game of whack-a-mole operator. The enterprise operating system replaces this chaos with a simple, brutally effective engine. It's a machine for making problems disappear forever. It has 3 core gears: identify, discuss, and solve. Let's call it IDS. First, identify. This is the most crucial gear, and it's the one most companies are missing. The operating system demands that you create a single central place where every single issue, problem, obstacle, idea, or opportunity in the company is captured. This is called the issues list. It's not a spreadsheet on one person's laptop. It's not a bunch of sticky notes on a whiteboard. It is a living, breathing, shared document that your entire leadership team uses. Anytime anyone on the team has a problem, it goes on the list. No more hallway ambushes. The answer to "got a quick second" becomes "great point. Add it to the issues list, and we'll tackle it at the weekly meeting." This is a game changer. It gives everyone psychological safety. They know their issue has been heard, captured, and will not be forgotten. It also filters out the noise. When someone has to actually write down the issue, they're forced to clarify their thinking. The vague complaint becomes a concrete problem statement. This list becomes your company's transparent backlog of challenges. It might have 10 items on it. It might have 100. The number doesn't matter. What matters is that the problems are out of your heads and into the system. You've stopped them from swirling around in the ether and pinned them down where you can see them. The second gear is discuss. This happens at a dedicated weekly meeting. A 90-minute, same day, same time, sacred meeting where the leadership team runs the operating system. For 60 of those 90 minutes, you do one thing: you work the issues list. You look at your list of 20, 50, 100 problems, and the leader asks a simple question. What are the top 3 most important issues on this list that we need to solve right now to move the business forward? You don't start at the top and work your way down. You don't pick the easiest ones. You prioritize. You tria. You act like surgeons in an emergency room, not clerks in a file room. Once the team agrees on the number 1 issue, you begin the discuss phase. And here's the rule. You are not allowed to talk about solutions yet. You are only allowed to talk about the problem. You dig. You ask questions. You peel back the layers of the onion until you get to the absolute root cause. The issue on the list might be customers are complaining about slow delivery times. A bad discussion devolves into blaming the shipping department. A great discussion uncovers the truth. Is it a supplier issue? Is it a warehouse staffing problem? Is our order processing software from 1998 finally giving up the ghost? Is the marketing team running a promotion we weren't prepared to handle? You keep digging until the entire room agrees. That is the real problem. Often, the thing you end up discussing is 5 layers deeper than what was originally written on the list. This is the most valuable conversation your team can have, because you're moving from treating symptoms to curing the disease. Only then, once the root cause is crystal clear to everyone, do you shift to the third gear, solve. Because you did the hard work in the discuss phase. The solve phase is often the fastest. The real solution becomes clear, and often, it's not what anyone originally thought. The team agrees on a course of action, but it doesn't end with a vague head nod. A solve is not a solve until it is converted into a concrete action item assigned to one person with a deadline. The leader asks, "So what's the to-do?" Someone formulates it. "Okay, the to-do is, Jim will get 3 quotes for new order processing software by next Friday." Great. That action item goes onto another list, a simple to-do list, which is reviewed at the beginning of every single weekly meeting. This closes the loop. It creates inescapable accountability. Jim knows that next week, the first thing the team will review is that to-do list, and his name is right there. He can't hide. The problem can't hide. It will be tracked until it is 100% done. And then once that issue is solved, what do? You go back to the issues list and you ask, "What's the next most important issue on the list?" And you run the engine again. Identify, discuss, solve. And again. And again. Week after week, your leadership team shows up to this meeting, and for a solid hour, they are a professional, world-class problem-solving machine. They knock down the company's biggest obstacles one by one. The issues list never goes away, but the issues on it become more strategic. Instead of "the printer is jammed again," the issues become, "How do we break into the West Coast market?" Or should we acquire our biggest competitor? This engine transforms the very nature of management. It takes all the politics, ego, and drama that cripples most companies and replaces it with a simple, repeatable process. It ensures that the collective brainpower of your most expensive people is focused on the most important things, in a way that guarantees resolution. You stop being firefighters. You become architects, building a business that has fewer fires to begin with. But this engine, this weekly meeting rhythm, can't just be a process in a vacuum. It needs to be supported by a shared understanding of how we do things around here. How do we sell? How do we hire? How do we run payroll? How do we deliver our service? If everyone is doing it their own way, you're just creating more issues for the engine to solve. So, how do you document your core processes and get everyone to follow them once and for all? That's about building the company playbook, and that's the next piece of the puzzle we need to lock into place. This idea of a company playbook might sound rigid, even a little corporate. For a lot of American managers, especially in fast-moving entrepreneurial environments, the word process can feel like a dirty word. It conjures up images of bureaucratic red tape, of TPS reports and endless meetings that stifle innovation. But that's a fundamental misunderstanding of what a true playbook is. A playbook isn't a cage, it's a launchpad. It's not about restricting your best people. It's about creating a foundation of consistency, so they can soar even higher. Think of it like this. A world-class orchestra doesn't just show up and start improvising. They have sheet music. That sheet music is their playbook. It ensures that the violins, the cellos, the percussion, they all know what to play and when to play it. Does that stop a gifted soloist from delivering a breathtaking, emotional performance? No. In fact, it's the very structure of the orchestra playing in harmony that creates the space for that soloist to shine. The playbook handles the 80% of the work that needs to be consistent, so your team can focus their creative genius on the 20% that truly makes a difference. Without a playbook, your business is just a collection of talented individuals, all improvising. And that might work when you're a garage band with 3 people. But as you grow, it descends into chaos. You get what I call organizational drift. Every person has their own way of doing things. The way you sell, the way you onboard a new client, the way you hire, the way you resolve a customer complaint, it changes depending on who's doing it that day. This creates a wildly inconsistent experience for your customers and a frustrating, inefficient environment for your team. You can't scale a business based on individual heroics. You can only scale a business based on reliable, documented systems. Let me tell you about a company, we'll call them Apex Solutions. For years, the founder, Mark, was the hero. He was the only one who knew the Apex way. He knew exactly how to quote a complex project, how to calm down an angry client, how to configure their flagship product. The problem was all of this was trapped in his head. The company grew to 30 employees, and Mark was the bottleneck for everything. He was working 80-hour weeks, his phone was a constant stream of questions from his own team. "Mark, what's our policy on this? Mark, how do I handle this client request? Mark, can you review this proposal?" He was drowning, and his business had hit a hard ceiling. He couldn't grow because he couldn't clone himself. This is the critical point where a business either builds a playbook or it breaks. Apex chose to build. So how did they do it? And how can you do it? Simpler than you think. It starts with the 80-20 rule. You don't need to document every single task in your company. That's a recipe for a 500-page binder that collects dust. Instead, you identify the 20% of core processes that drive 80% of your results. Get your leadership team in a room with a whiteboard for one afternoon. Ask one question. What are the 5 to 10 most critical, repeatable processes that make our business run? For most companies, the list will look something like this: a marketing process for generating leads, a sales process for closing deals, a fulfillment or delivery process for serving the customer, a hiring process for finding great people, and a customer service process for keeping them happy. That's it. Start there. Don't try to boil the ocean. Once you've identified a core process, let's take the sales process. The next step is to document it in the simplest way possible. The goal is clarity, not complexity. You need to answer 3 simple questions for each process. What are the steps? Who is accountable for each step? And what does a win look like? For the sales process, it might be a simple 7-step checklist. 1. Initial qualification call. 2. Discovery meeting. 3. Proposal creation. 4. Proposal presentation. 5. Contract negotiation. 6. Deal close/1. 7. Handoff to a project manager. For each of those steps, you define who owns it. The sales development rep owns step 1. The account executive owns steps 2 through 6. The project manager owns step 7. Then you define what a win looks like. A win for the handoff to the project manager isn't just an email saying, "Hey, new client." A win is a fully completed project kickoff form, a scheduled internal kickoff meeting, and a formal client introduction. See how clear that is? There's no ambiguity. There's no room for, "I thought you were going to do that." And here's the secret weapon. Don't just write it down in a Google document. That's a start, but people don't learn from text alone. Use video. Have your best salesperson record their screen using a tool like Loom and walk through exactly how they conduct a discovery meeting. Have your best project manager record a 3-minute video on how to properly fill out the project kickoff form. These short, simple videos are gold. They become your training library. A new salesperson can watch the 10 videos that make up your sales playbook and be more effective in their first week than they would be in 3 months of just shadowing someone. Now, as you start doing this, you're going to get pushback. I guarantee it. Your star performers, the ones who have been improvising and succeeding, might feel threatened. They'll say, "This is bureaucratic. You're trying to turn me into a robot." You have to reframe it for them. You say, "You're right. You are a star. That's why we're doing this. We need to get the process that's in your head out into the open so we can teach everyone else to be 80% as good as you are." This isn't about limiting you. It's about bottling your magic so the entire company can benefit from it. By systemizing the basics, we free you up to solve bigger, harder problems. The other pushback you'll get is, "We don't have time for this." My answer is always the same. How much time are you wasting right now? How much time is spent fixing errors that never should have happened? Answering the same questions over and over? Redoing work because of a miscommunication during a handoff? The time you spend documenting a process is an investment that pays you back every single week, forever. You don't build a playbook because you have extra time. You build a playbook to create more time. Back at Apex Solutions, it was a slow, painful process at first. They started with just one process: the handoff from sales to the delivery team, which was their biggest point of friction. They got the key people in a room, mapped it out, argued, debated, and finally agreed on a simple 10-step checklist. They made it the single source of truth. The first few handoffs using the new system were clunky. People forgot steps, but the managers held them accountable. Did we follow the playbook? Became the new question. And then something amazing happened. Started to work. Projects started on time. The delivery team had all the information they needed. The clients were happier. The stress levels plummeted. Seeing that success, the team got energized. They moved on to the next process: hiring, then customer support. Within a year, Apex had a living, breathing playbook for their 7 core processes. It was all housed in a simple company wiki, full of checklists and short video tutorials. The result? The company doubled its revenue in the next 18 months. But more importantly, Mark, the founder, got his life back. He was no longer the bottleneck. He was now the architect, the coach, working on the business instead of being trapped in it. He could finally take a 2-week vacation and not check his email once, confident that the team had the playbook to run the company without him. That is the power of this component. The playbook is the physical embodiment of your company's wisdom. It turns tribal knowledge into a shared asset. It's how you ensure quality, drive efficiency, and build a platform for sustainable, scalable growth. It's the instruction manual for your machine. So you've defined your core values, you've clarified roles and responsibilities, and now you've documented your core processes in a playbook. The machine is designed, and the assembly instructions are written. But there's a vital piece missing. How do you know if the machine is actually working? How do you measure its output, its efficiency, its health? You can't manage what you don't measure. To do that, you need a dashboard with the right gauges and warning lights. That's the data component. And it's the scorecard that tells you in black and white whether you're winning or losing the game. So now you have the scorecard. You have the dashboard. You can see with brutal clarity if your revenue is off track, if your customer satisfaction is dipping, or if your production costs are creeping up. The data is staring you in the face. Now what? This is the moment of truth for most organizations. Because having a dashboard that tells you the engine is on fire is useless if you don't have a fire extinguisher and a clear plan to use it. Most companies see the warning light, and what do? They panic. They call a meeting. That meeting turns into another meeting. People point fingers. They talk about the symptom, the smoke, without ever looking for the source of the fire. The same problems come up again and again, quarter after quarter. It's corporate Groundhog Day. You solve an issue on Monday, and it's back in a different form by Thursday. This is where a true operating system separates the winners from the perpetually frustrated. It introduces the fifth component, the issues component. This isn't just about acknowledging problems. It's a systematic, disciplined, and repeatable process for making them disappear. For good. The issues component is designed to destroy the whack-a-mole culture that plagues so many businesses. It creates a space where problems are not just allowed to surface, they are expected to. It all starts with a simple tool. The issues list. This is not a complaint box. It's not a suggestion box. It is the single centralized living list of every single obstacle, problem, idea, or opportunity that is standing between you and your vision. Anything that's off track, not working, or could be better goes on this list. A key client is at risk? It goes on the list. The new software is buggy? On the list. The sales team and the marketing team aren't communicating? On the list. An idea for a new product line? That's an issue too. The issue is, should we pursue this? It goes on the list. This creates incredible transparency. Nothing gets swept under the rug. Nothing festers in silence. The act of putting something on the list is a declaration. This is real, and we are going to deal with it. It removes the politics and the fear. The focus is on the issue itself, not on who brought it up. Once you have this open and honest list, you need a process to start knocking things off it permanently. And that process is called IDS. It's an acronym that stands for Identify, Discuss, and Solve. And it will transform your meetings from time-wasting talk fests into decisive problem-solving sessions. Let's break it down. The first step, identify, is by far the most important, and it's the one most teams skip. They see a symptom and immediately start talking about solutions. That's like a doctor prescribing surgery for a cough without ever listening to your lungs. You have to dig. You have to get to the root cause. The issue on your list might be, Q4 sales are down 15%. A typical team jumps straight to discussing solutions. We need more leads. The sales team needs to make more calls. Let's offer a discount. But those are solutions to a problem you haven't even identified yet. Using IDS, the leader of the meeting would stop everyone and ask, okay, let's take a minute to identify the real issue here. Why are sales down? And you start peeling the onion. Maybe someone says, well, our close rate on new proposals has dropped from 30% to 15%. Okay, that's getting warmer. Why has our close rate dropped? Because the feedback we're getting is that our new flagship product, the one we're leading with, has a critical bug that frustrates prospects during the demo. Why did it ship with a bug? Because the product team was under pressure to hit a deadline, and they skipped the final week of quality assurance testing. Boom, there it is. The root cause. The real issue isn't that the sales team is lazy. The real issue is that your product development process is broken. If you had just told the sales team to make more calls, you would have demoralized them and completely failed to solve the actual problem, which would have just shown up again in the next product launch. Identification is about finding the root of the weed, not just trimming the top. Once you've truly identified the root cause, and only then do you move to the second step, discuss. This is where everyone with knowledge or a perspective on the issue weighs in. But this is not a free-for-all debate. It's a focused, efficient conversation. The leader's job is to make sure everyone is heard, that all the facts and opinions are on the table, but to keep the conversation on track. No tangents. No going back to relitigate the past or assign blame. It's about one thing. What do we need to know and consider to make the best possible decision to solve this specific root problem? In our example, the head of product would speak, the head of sales, the head of engineering. They'd quickly share their perspective. We can patch the bug in 48 hours. The sales team needs talking points to handle this with existing prospects. We need to reevaluate our launch timeline protocol. The discussion phase might only take 5 or 10 minutes, because once you know the real problem, the path forward often becomes incredibly clear. The goal of the discussion is not consensus. You don't need everyone to agree. You just need everyone to be heard. Which brings us to the final step, solve. The discussion ends when the leader of the meeting makes a decision. The solve is not the problem magically vanishing. The solve is a single clear action item that will be added to a to-do list. It must be assigned to one person who is now 100% accountable for getting it done. It's not assigned to a department or a team. It's assigned to a name. In our example, the solve wouldn't be fix the product process. That's too vague. A real solve would be, Sarah, the head of product, will create and present a new mandatory pre-launch QA checklist to the leadership team at next week's meeting. That's it. It's concrete, it's actionable, it has a single owner, and it has a deadline. The issue is now officially solved. It comes off the issues list and the action item goes onto Sarah's to-do list. And then you move to the next most important issue on your list and you do it again. Identify, discuss, solve. One by one, with relentless consistency, you make your company's problems disappear at the root. This is how you build a healthy, functional, and high-performing team. You give them a system to confront reality and a tool to change it. You stop talking and you start solving. You build a machine that gets stronger with every problem it faces. But having a great process for solving problems is only half the battle. How do you make sure that the right things in your business, the things that make you money and keep your customers happy, are done the right way by everyone every single time? How do you systematize your success so you can scale it without breaking it? That requires codifying your core processes, the secret sauce of how your business actually runs. It's about getting your way of doing things out of your head and onto paper, creating a consistent playbook that everyone in the organization follows. That is the sixth and final component of a complete operating system, and it's the key to unlocking true freedom for you as a leader. It's how you build a business that can run without you. So how do you do that? How do you create a business that serves you instead of you being a slave to it? You systemize it. You document the core processes that drive your business. Think about the most successful franchise in the world, McDonald's. You can walk into any McDonald's in America, from Boise, Idaho to Miami, Florida, and get the exact same Big Mac. The fries will be cooked for the same amount of time with the same amount of salt. The person at the counter will greet you in a similar way. Why? Because they have a playbook. They have documented, simplified, and trained every single core process in their business. This doesn't mean they hire robots. It means they've taken the guesswork out of 80% of the job, which frees up their team to handle the unexpected 20%, the custom orders, the difficult customer, the machine that breaks down. They systemize the predictable so they could humanize the exceptional. That's what this sixth component is all about. It's about taking the tribal knowledge, the secret sauce that's stuck in your head or the head of your best salesperson, and getting it down on paper. It's about creating a simple, clear, step-by-step guide for the main functions of your organization. Now, when I say this, I see managers get overwhelmed. They imagine creating a 1,000-page binder that no one will ever read. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the 80-20 rule. What are the 20% of processes that produce 80% of your results? You start there. Typically, these fall into a handful of categories. First, your people processes. How do you find, hire, onboard, train, manage, and fire people? Is it consistent? Or does every manager do it their own way? Creating a chaotic and often legally risky patchwork of styles? Documenting a single, simple hiring process can revolutionize your ability to attract and retain top talent. Second, your marketing processes. How do you generate leads? What's the step-by-step process for creating a proposal or running a campaign? When it's documented, you can test it, you can improve it, and you can hand it off to someone else to run it. Third, your sales process. What are the exact steps from a new lead to a signed contract? What are the key qualifying questions? What's the follow-up cadence? A consistent sales process is the difference between unpredictable revenue swings and a reliable, forecastable growth engine. And finally, your operations processes. This is how you make the sausage, how you deliver your product or service consistently on time and on budget. This could be your manufacturing line, your software development lifecycle, or your client service workflow. And let's not forget the back office, your invoicing and collections process, your financial reporting process. These are the arteries of your business. If they get clogged, the whole system suffers. The goal is to document each of these core processes in a simple visual step-by-step format. Think checklists, flowcharts, and simple diagrams. So simple a new hire could follow it and get the job done right 80% of the time without having to ask you a million questions. This is how you scale. This is how you guarantee a consistent customer experience. And this is how you, the manager, finally get out of the weeds and start working on the business, not just in it. The process component turns your business from a collection of individual artists into a symphony orchestra, with you as the conductor, not the first violin. So now let's put it all together. Over these last 10 parts, we've built piece by piece a complete enterprise operating system. And it's critical to understand that these aren't 6 separate ideas you can pick and choose from. They are 6 interconnected components of a single holistic system. They are gears in a machine, and the machine only runs when all the gears are turning in unison. Think about it. You start with the vision. That's your destination. It's the big, hairy, audacious goal on the horizon and the clear, focused plan to get there. But a vision without the right people is just a hallucination. So, you need the people component. You need to get the right people in the right seats. People who share your core values and are uniquely gifted for their roles. Now you have a great vision and a great team. But how do you know if you're winning? You need the data component. You need a handful of objective, forward-looking numbers that give you an absolute pulse on the business, with no emotion, no ego, no "I think we're doing okay." You have the facts. And when you have the facts, you will inevitably uncover problems. Things that are off track, obstacles in your way. That's where the issues component comes in. You need a system to smoke out those issues, get them onto a list, and then solve them one by one for good. But solving problems isn't enough. You need to be driving forward, making progress toward your vision. That requires the traction component. That's the discipline of setting 90-day priorities, your rocks, and maintaining a meeting pulse that keeps everyone in sync, accountable, and focused on what's most important right now. And finally, to make all of this sustainable, scalable, and independent of any one person, you need the process component. You need to document your core processes, creating that consistent playbook that ensures quality and efficiency as you grow. Do you see how it all connects? Your vision tells your people where to go. The data tells them if they're on track. The issues component helps them clear the roadblocks. The traction component gives them the quarterly and weekly discipline to make progress. And the process component gives them the consistent tools to do the job right every single time. Take away any one of these 6 components, and the entire system breaks down. A vision with no traction is a daydream. Great people with no data are flying blind. A great process with the wrong people is useless. It's the synthesis of all 6 that creates a truly powerful, self-sustaining organization. This is the shift from being a frantic manager to becoming a true leader. It's the difference between running on a hamster wheel, putting out the same fires day after day, and building a high-performance engine that propels you forward with increasing momentum. The before picture is one you know all too well. Chaos, frustration, feeling like you're hitting a ceiling you just can't break through. It's working 60-hour weeks only to feel like you're falling further behind. It's the constant anxiety of not knowing what's really going on in your own teams, of being blindsided by problems you should have seen coming. It's the feeling of being trapped, a prisoner in the very business you're trying to build. The after picture is one of clarity, confidence, and control. It's a business where everyone is 100% on the same page about where you're going and how you're going to get there. It's a business where your team is accountable, engaged, and solves problems on their own, without escalating everything to you. It's a business where you have a handful of numbers that tell you the truth, allowing you to predict the future instead of just reacting to the past. It's a business that has a steady, disciplined rhythm of execution, making consistent quarter-over-quarter progress toward your goals. It's a business that can grow, scale, and thrive, even when you take a 2-week vacation and don't check your email once. It's freedom. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This sounds great, But it also sounds like a ton of work. And you're right. It is. Implementing a true operating system takes discipline, takes commitment from the top down. It requires you to change old habits and confront uncomfortable truths. But let me ask you this. What is the cost of not doing it? What is the cost of another 5 years of the same chaos, the same frustration, the same stalled growth? The work you're already doing, the firefighting, the constant course-correcting, the managing of egos is exhausting. The work of implementing an operating system is different. It's focused, it's strategic, and every bit of effort you put in creates a permanent improvement that pays you back week after week, year after year. You don't have to boil the ocean. You just have to start. Pick one component. Just one. Maybe it's clarifying your vision and getting it shared by all. Maybe it's implementing a simple scorecard with 5 key metrics. Or maybe it's just starting a weekly meeting where you honestly identify, discuss, and solve your real issues. Start somewhere. Build one gear, get it turning, and then move to the next. Because what you're building isn't just a set of tools or management techniques. You're building a platform for sustainable success. You are building a legacy. You are building a company that is not defined by the heroic efforts of a few, but by the collective power of a clear, focused, and disciplined team. You are building a business that works,